Into the final few days of the transfer window, things are heating up at the Emirates Stadium. As Mikel Arteta's search for a forward continues, the fans are becoming more and more demanding. Something needs to happen. So today we'll get a breaking update from David Ornstein. We'll also find out about a potential second offer for Ollie Watkins, discuss a twist in the saga of Mathys Tel, and find out who is going to be available for our gargantuan game against Man City on Sunday. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Basketball T and welcome back to your boys channel. With only a few days left on the transfer window, things need to get interesting, because if they don't, oh boy, we're in trouble. But as per, smash a like on this video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel if you are new, helping your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. We're starting off with a David Ornstein update. With 18-year-old Sylvain Naipan a key target for Arsenal of this window, having just turned 18 in December, a Norwegian wonder kid able to play as a number 10 drive forwards, but also wanted by Girona Resort, owned by the Man City group. With the idea of going to Girona then going to City in the future, Arsenal had also presented their own project, with reports claiming of confidence that they were going to get the player to sign. But having come to London, gone to Manchester, spoken to so many clubs, we got a surprise David Ornstein update, saying Arsenal target Sylvain Naipan is now expected to stay at Rosenborg until the end of the season. Despite interest from Arsenal, Villa and Girona, talks had advanced, but a final decision on his future will come this summer. It's going to be one to watch, with even the reliable Hand of Ozil saying the kid had 3 offers on the table and one was crazy, but decided it's best to wait and take his time. And on paper, that makes a lot of sense. You've just turned 18, you've got so many big clubs after you. We've seen young talents in the past make the wrong move, go to big clubs too soon, not get minutes straight away, and then struggle to revive their career. Logically speaking, Naipan waiting makes a lot of sense. And according to Hand of Ozil, 2 offers are still on the table, and as far as he's concerned, Arsenal also have 1, with even John Cross claiming Arsenal are still on the driving seat to sign Naipan in the summer. But the issue is this is a misery compiler, in a window that Arsenal have dwelled so much and waited so long, despite the obvious need to recruit. I don't think Naipan would have been a game changer straight away, but when you're 31 days into the window, fans are getting desperate. They want signings because they know the team needs it. Having waited so long on Naipan to make a decision, him staying makes a lot of sense for him. Arsenal will also hold their interest going into the future, but the question in the current window is, will they go for another midfielder? With one of the star players available in the market, Ryan Cherki of Lyon, a player as Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed, has a verbal agreement to leave Lyon this January for €22.5 million. We are talking about a player who has the second most assists in the Europa League this year, having created 9 big chances and 28 key passes, as well as 24 successful dribbles, at only 21 years of age. I find it very surprising that no team is yet to make an offer, with an urgent need to sell players as soon as possible. In the case of Cherki, an attacking midfielder able to play on the right hand side, there actually is a reason why Arsenal might have not gone for that deal, which is of course the emergence of the wonder kid Ethan Nwaneri, having scored in the Champions League in his first ever start, becoming the second youngest English player to ever score the Champions League, behind only Jude Bellingham. For club and country this year, he now has 12 goals in 13 appearances, and for Arsenal himself, he has 6, which to put into context is so impressive that only Wayne Rooney and Michael Owen had netted more goals for a Premier League club before turning 18. We are talking 2 wonder kids there, 2 players that were seen as generational talents. With Nwaneri not turning 18 until March, there's a very good chance that he could even break that record. It's not like he's just scoring goals that are tap-ins and easy goals to score. You think about the goal against Girona, cutting inside outside the box, whipping it into the top corner with elite ball striking. Where Arsenal last year only had 6 goals outside the box, Nwaneri this year on his own at 17 has now scored 8. Having seen the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden both do it for Man City consistently over the past couple of years. For an Arsenal team often too concerned about scoring the perfect goal, when you've got the level of ball striking with Ethan Nwaneri, he offers also something they've not had for a very long time. A player thriving on the right hand side in the absence of Bukayo Saka, stepping up and becoming one of our key attackers. A start against Man City is near guaranteed. And it's very funny when you think about it. Having waited so long to sign a Saka backup, the academy spawned one out of nowhere. And in terms of Hill End, it is at it once again, as wonder kid Max Dummel was once again making headlines, scoring at the FA Youth Cup 5th round to help take the Arsenal under-18s to the next round. We are talking about a player who has just turned 15. Yet despite of that, he's training with the Arsenal first team consistently, playing well above his age group as well. As exciting as both Miles Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri are, I have never seen Arsenal platform a young player this much so soon, showing Dalman a clear pathway to the first team. When you've got the likes of Saka, Nwaneri and Lewis Skelly as your examples, there's a very good chance in the near future Dalman could become the youngest ever player to play for Arsenal. But what about in terms of the Champions League? Having qualified for the last 16 with no need for a playoff round, Arsenal entered the group phase with only 3 goals conceded, the second best record in the entire competition. And in terms of our opponents in the last 16, it will either be Feyenoord or Milan, or the winner of Juve and PSV, with the away leg set to be played on March the 4th, and the home leg on March the 12th. With no need for a playoff game, Arsenal have time to relax. So having seen Man City get drawn against Real Madrid, the idea of such a massive game being a playoff one just goes to show how important it was to make the top 8. Not only will one massive team get knocked out, But in terms of Arsenal, with no need for a playoff, as a reliable handover confirms, Arsenal will set off once again to Dubai for warm weather training, following the Carabao Cup second leg tie against Newcastle, which takes place on February the 5th. But moving on to the Ollie Watkins update. With less than 4 days left until transfer deadline day, there's only one thing on Arsenal fans' minds. Can we get in a forward? Well, according to Mikel Arteta, when asked about signing a striker, he says, "I'm very confident in the work the club is doing, and we are exploring every opportunity. We are trying our best." But in a window where reports claim that Arsenal have always had the money, having also netted a further €90 million for finishing third in the Champions League group phase, it's never been a matter of funds not being available. So after reports that came out a few days ago of a £60 million offer for Ollie Watkins, rejected straight away by Aston Villa, now according to Sammy Mockbell, Watkins will be open to joining Arsenal, but Villa are determined to keep him, with Arsenal now weighing up a second offer in hope of reviving the deal, but with Duran going, it appears unlikely that a renewed bid would succeed. And that, my friends, of course, is now a done deal, as Aston Villa themselves confirm. Jean Duran has joined Al Nassr for a fee of €77 million. Having lost one key striker, why would they want to lose another? But in terms of the Saudi market himself, according to reports, now that it is closed, you can expect to see significant movement from the European clubs, with many clubs rightfully cautious about dealing in the same market as them. January is already an inflated market, but even more when you are competing with unlimited wealth. And that was summed up to a T from the recent report for Fabrizio Romano. The Al Nassr had made a €90 million bid for Brighton's Cairo Matoma, a decent player at best costing nearly €100 million. The Saudi market is simply unpredictable. You even had Gabriel Martinelli that was among the options for Al Ahly in terms of the January transfer window. But bringing it back to Arsenal and the pursuit of Ollie Watkins, according to Aston Villa manager Unai Emery, some players prefer to leave, but some players accept to be here and commit to us, and one of those players is Ollie Watkins, defiant in his claims that the Villa striker is not going to leave. And more intriguingly in terms of Arsenal, according to Matt Law, their opening offer for Watkins was actually closer to £45 million than it was to 60, as they now weigh up a second bid, with Villa still adamant they don't want to sell the player, with Duran heading to Saudi Arabia. Which of course sounds crazy when you think about it. Yes, Watkins may have been 29 years of age, but £45 million to a striker that has scored consistently nearly 20 goals, having already sold the likes of Edin Keita for nearly 30, there's a reason why Villa rejected the offer straight away. But there is some rumours arising though. According to Fabrizio Romano in a recent YouTube video, Emery has told the Villa board that Watkins must stay, but it could mean that Arsenal do something crazy to find an agreement for Watkins or even more different targets, with even Alex Goldberg claiming, "I believe Ollie Watkins will push for an Arsenal move privately, but I don't see the player putting in a transfer request." Yes, he may be a boyhood Arsenal fan. It also may be his only opportunity to go to the club, but with all that Villa have done for him and the situation they're currently in as well. John Duran has just been sold, there's only one striker available. Even if the player was to put in a transfer request, it still won't make things easy. Having seen it in the past with Mathys Tel in January 2023, players demanding a move doesn't always work out if the club itself doesn't want to sell. And according to Matt Law, Villa value Watkins at £80 million, a price that would have gone higher after the sale of John Duran. This is what I cannot get through my mind. If Ollie Watkins has always been the guy that Arsenal have wanted, why wait towards the end of the transfer window, letting other sagas develop instead, making it even harder to negotiate with Villa? Lateness may be greatness, but not on the transfer window. Alongside reports of moving forwards like Marcus Rashford and João Felix as well. The fact that Villa are still on the market for a striker may be intriguing, having already of course signed Daniel Marlin. But in terms of Watkins and Arsenal, so far, compared to both Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus, he has slightly more league goals than Havertz, with more shots per 90 minutes but a slightly higher conversion rate. He's actually got the lowest amount of big chances scored. That's where you have to ask yourself, if Arsenal are going to make a second offer, how much is Ollie Watkins worth? And can he be a game changer for Arsenal? Because in terms of our current striker Kai Havertz, he definitely needs help, being our highest player in terms of total distance covered, as well as highest speed running distance, highest and also pressures applied in total sprints, second in terms of sprinting distance. He may not be rated in terms of ability, but in terms of availability, he's definitely an Iron Man. So the move for Watkins being up in the air, according to other reports now, Arsenal are considering making a bid for Juventus' Dusan Vlahovic, with no decision being made so far, but the option of taking steps to the Juventus striker is being seriously evaluated. A player that's open to a new challenge in the Premier League. A profile that excels in the box, something that Arsenal don't really have. But the issue I have is reliability. Whenever you hear about Dusan Vlahovic to Arsenal, it's never from the most reliable of sources. And when you hear from the likes of David Ornstein, they always claim he's not really a target. But we've also got to talk about Brentford's Brian Mbeumo, a player that, according to reports earlier this window, Arsenal, Tottenham and Man United had all interest in, with Brentford expecting to demand more than €50 million. Into his final 18 months as a Brentford player, definitely a market opportunity. And according to reports in the UK now, it's actually Newcastle that have made an offer of £60 million to sign Brian Mbeumo. This could be one to watch for Arsenal fans. Not only is Mbeumo a profile that can instantly improve our team straight away, able to play on the right wing and also as a centre forward, with fantastic numbers so far this season. But you've also got a lot of reliable reports that have confirmed that Arsenal do have interest. If Brentford do show they're open to negotiate, I wonder if Arsenal will also make a move. But you've then got another forward saga that is also starting to develop. We are talking about Bayern Munich's Mathys Tel, a player wanted by the likes of Tottenham, Arsenal and Man United. According to reports, it was Spurs that made the first move, reaching an agreement with Bayern Munich on a transfer of around 60 million euros, with the only thing left being the player's decision. Spurs had put the money on the table, they had agreed to deal with Bayern, with even chairman Daniel Levy arriving in Munich to accelerate talks with Mathys Tel. The agreement was done with Bayern, but face-to-face talks now with Tel and his agent. And let's just say Levy convinced him that Spurs was not the club for him, because as Fabrizio Romano confirmed, Tel has now rejected the Tottenham offer. Despite the 60 million euro package, Tel has now informed Spurs about his decision. Barring any surprises, Tel won't join Spurs, with more Premier League clubs on it now. Nando's FC denied. The question is, what happens next? Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, he actually prefers to stay at Bayern than joining Spurs. It will now either be Man United or Arsenal, or he will stay at Bayern, with even the reliable Sam Skill reporting that Arsenal have called about the Mathys Tel situation. According to Fabrizio Romano, Tel and his agent are now in Munich together to assess all the options after rejecting the Spurs proposal, as the player will now consider other bids that are loan and permanent moves. Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal and Villa are all in contact. This is a player that is available in two different avenues. Either Arsenal offer 60 million euros, or instead try to negotiate a loan deal. Tel has become a market opportunity and there's a reason why so many clubs are after him. 19 years of age, seen as a potential super talent, having consistently got goals and assists in the past few years without even starting, but this year yet to score a single goal. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, Tel is not expected to be part of the Bayern squad tomorrow, as the French striker will take his time to assess all the options after rejecting Tottenham. A loan with a buy option can be a possibility with Man United keen, as well as staying at Bayern. But in terms of Arsenal, what are they going to do? With the reports only claiming that Arsenal made contact, less and less time remaining on the transfer window and so many teams after the player, are we going to enter direct negotiations? And more importantly, is Tel the player for Arsenal? Because the talent may be undeniable, but in terms of what Arsenal need for this season, instant impact to help us win a title. At 19 years of age, Tel is still a very raw talent. Being more of a wide forward than he is a striker, the ball is now in Arsenal's court. Do they have another surprise up their sleeve? But in terms of the focus this Sunday, of course, it will be on a massive game instead, against our title rivals of last year, Manchester City, with the team news before the game being all about David Raya, having missed the game against Girona with a slight injury, then see no better no absolutely struggle. According to the Gunner blog, Arsenal are optimistic that Raya will be fit for the game against City. But in terms of Arsenal's Mikel Arteta, he says Raya is still very uncertain. He will have another session tomorrow, with another 48 hours, so we'll wait and see. As it stands, it's currently a muscular issue. And in terms of Ben White, he is definitely out, with no other news. But also in terms of the forward line, who is going to start at right wing? After a standard performance 1 year in the Champions League, surely he secured the spot. Then you've got the battle at left back, Miles who is scarcely available, and the in from Ricardo Calafiori. In a big game against a team that we know can be special, does Mikel Arteta turn to the slightly more experienced man? Because in terms of City, they currently might be 4th, but over the last 10 league games they've accumulated 18 points, only behind the likes of Arsenal, Forest, Bournemouth, Newcastle and Liverpool, with Arsenal themselves undefeated in that same period of time. We of course will have an extra incentive going into this game. The Erling Haaland quotes from the end of the game back in October, telling Mikel Arteta to stay humble, having a go at Gabriel Jesus. I'm sure the Arsenal players will have vengeance in mind, in a game that they could have won even with 10 men. Snatched up 3 points with a last minute equaliser. City might not be our title rivals this season, but on the field there is still going to be drama. In a game at the Emirates Stadium, fans will also be up for it, especially because it's a major game the day before. Liverpool go into the in-form Bournemouth, who have just smoked Nottingham Forest 5-0, having beaten Arsenal and City both at the Vitality. This could be a major weekend for the title race. That is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy in all of his social media, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal transfer news today, ahead of a massive gargantuan game against Man City and a gargantuan few days for Arsenal Football Club, where they must sign a striker. It's over to you, Arsenal. Give us a surprise, give us a bomber, and give the fans what they want and the team what they need. Until then, my friends, I'll see you next time. Take care. In a bit.